Greetings and welcome to your Mindfulness Mastery podcast. I am your host and trusted guide, Tawnya Love. I am an intuitive, shamanic, angelic wayshower, healer, light worker, and author. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share this podcast. To schedule any one-on-one sessions or group healing events, you can visit and book your sessions on my divinely inspired website at mindfulnessmastery888.com. Thank you so much for your presence and for your support. Now sit back, relax, and open yourself to receive. Greetings, everyone. It's Tawnya Love. Welcome to Mindfulness Mastery 888, and I am here with my soul sister, Cindy Campbell. You want to say hi, Cindy?
Hi, everyone.
So we're chatting this morning as we're working on other business magic, and we had an idea of kind of bringing in a message on how to consciously choose joy. So Cindy was mentioning to me, that she feels like this would be something really important for her to practice, and also what she feels is not a good idea to practice. Do you want to just share a little bit of what kind of inspired this? And
Sure.
We'll go from there?
Sure. So as I've been becoming more conscious of kind of that voice in my head, and you have also assisted with it, helping me pick up on this.
Yes.
There has definitely been a history of like victim mindset. And so I have given that voice a name. Her name is Vicky Victim.
Vicky Victim. She's a victim.
Yes. There are some other voices as well.
Which I do love the fun part of Cindy being able to give it a name, which was something that came up in a session. Like,
yes.
What if you give it just like a name and you don't give it your identity? You're not identifying with it, like that's who I am.
Yes.
But that voice, man, what a little bitch.
Yes.
She's a little victim.
Oh.
And I think every human on this planet, I don't care how aligned you are now, you've probably had that voice and it had its own name maybe, right?
Yes.
Like where we've identified with the victim. When we're in shadow frequency, we're kind of back and forth between victim and villain.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, she named hers Vicky the Victim.
Vicky the Victim.
Yeah.
Yes. And it really has been, it's miserable being in that.
Letting her drive the ship.
Yes. Really.
Never let Vicky drive.
Fucking miserable.
Yes.
And being in it day after day, and sometimes waking up and I was like, God, and instead of associating with that voice and being like, that is me, it was like, there's got to be a better way.
Yes.
Because I know that I can be happy and playful and joyful. And so I'd happened to be listening to a podcast, and it was something, I've heard this probably a million times, but for some reason that day it was stuck. Yeah. It struck a chord. It was like, choose joy.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, that would be a good goal for me to choose joy. What would that feel like instead of choosing
let
the other
energy
emotion?
choose you.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like that's a huge thing. In the book I wrote, I talk about being a conscious creator as opposed to an unconscious creator.
Yep.
And so unconscious creation, meaning we're not really driving, and just whatever is happening, we're a victim to it.
Yeah.
If we stub our toe, if something's going on, if there's noises outside, that is all I needed to have a terrible day. And then we go on, we get caught in an energy.
Yes.
And we're pissed about traffic, and then we're pissed about this, and then this person's pissing us off. And it just the day it seems like it just sucks you into a black abyss of suffering.
Yes.
And so consciously choosing joy is absolutely possible. And that is what I refer to as a conscious creator. So when you wake up in the morning, if you feel that voice, Vicky's chatting, and oh, she's here.
Oh, she starts early.
Oh, yeah. You're like, oh, she's in my dreams. Well, and it's good to realize and I think the beautiful thing is you're starting to see it's not you.
Yes.
That is such a huge shift in consciousness when we recognize that we are not our thoughts. The thoughts are not supposed to drive our vessel. They're just, it's, like the whole thing with Buddha watching the water. And if you lose yourself, you fall in the stream and you get carried downstream. That's like our thoughts. If it's victim thoughts, they can carry us downstream and drown our ass, right, throughout the day. But when we remember, wait, I'm the observer. I'm sitting here on the bank watching the thoughts. Look at Vicky go. God damn, she deserves an Oscar, right? We can see it as something separate and it's not who we are. So then it doesn't have to have a story. It doesn't have to control our day. And so shifting to controlling our day more, and not in a controller way, but meaning like, instead of you, Jesus, take the wheel, and you're just trying to, someone else drive this bitch. You're taking the wheel. So higher self comes in and you consciously start your day with, I am in charge of this day. And the first thing I know I'm in charge of is I am in charge of what I focus on, right? Yeah. So if my thoughts are victim-y or sad or suffering energy, I can be like, interesting, those thoughts are back. Anyway, what am I grateful for today? What do I feel thankful for? What do I appreciate? And I have observed this, like you cannot focus on what you appreciate and what you love and what you're grateful for and simultaneously be in suffering. You can't.
Yeah.
It's impossible. So if you're focusing on gratitude, appreciation, and things you love, your frequency starts to rise very swiftly. And if you're focusing on the victim voice, your frequency starts to plummet very swiftly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when we realize that, we can go, wait a minute, I'm in charge of where this gauge is going. Am I taking it higher or lower today? That's conscious creator. And it doesn't mean you won't have challenges in your day. You might have something happen. Like we just recently, our dog was at the dog park, got slammed into another dog. They were chasing a ball. Their heads slammed into each other. My dog's mouth's full of blood, big puncture to her top of her eyebrow. It was awful, but I had to really look at it like, okay, I'm doing the best I can. I'm dealing with this thing with my dog. Let me focus on what I am grateful for. I'm grateful for these things. I'm grateful that we found a vet. I'm grateful that the cost isn't $5,000. It's only 12. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it's like energetically, you're dealing with your day, but you can always focus in gratitude and then you don't suffer. So it's like, no matter what happens, you can find that nugget of magic. You know what I mean? If you're training yourself to look for it. And once that passes, you might, because like Cindy knows me well and I'm a very high vibrational being, but that day and for like 2 days while my dog's in surgery, and I was a little like more inward and just having to be really consciously plugged in with source and just give my dog over and trust that it's all being handled. I was like, I want to make sure I'm making the best decisions for her. So there was a lot of responsibility suddenly. And then after she comes out, she's good. I'm just like, okay, we're good. We're golden. And I was high on life again.
Yes.
Like literally people thought I had done like meth or something, which I've never done, by the way. But I was just very, very in like elated gratitude.
Yeah.
So it's like understanding that you're not being someone that's naive and just ignorant. Like, oh, she just, look at her. Why she got to fucking be happy about? And I know people look at me like that way sometimes.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck are you so happy about? But energetically, I choose it. I choose that. And so does that kind of help you understand, like, no matter what challenges, you don't have to let Vicky drive.
Yes.
Because she's a crazy bitch.
She is a crazy bitch. Also, she loves to make up a story.
She loves making up stories.
She loves to go into the story
Yes.
and then like feel it and then believe that story and then
get deep in the feels.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I would not recommend that.
So we're jokingly saying we'll have a podcast next week called Choosing Suffering. Why you shouldn't.
Just don't.
Just don't. But yes, like, and so in the 4 agreements, I love how Miguel Ruiz talks about, and they're so simple, but like the 2, I think, most challenging for people that are in victim consciousness are taking things personally and making assumptions. And so Vicky, the energy we're giving her is, she's like, oh, I'm going to take this so personally. And then I bet they meant all this awful stuff that is probably nowhere near reality.
Yeah.
But when that wounded part of our ego is guiding us through the noise, we can really start to identify that. And then we have the shittiest day and we suffer, but we didn't have to. And that's the thing, is to realize, and also to know you're not making a mistake or you're not a bad person if you some days let Vicky drag your ass through the swamps, right? Like, you're just like, God damn, she dragged my ass all the way through the swamps today. But then you could be like, wow, in my knowledge of wisdom and my understanding, I know I could take that control back right now.
Yes.
And that's empowering. And that's when basically that wounded part of self, the wounded ego, starts to lose its grip and control on you, because you start realizing you're not even me. Like, wait a minute, but I can love you and thank you for what you taught me, but you're never driving my ship again.
Yeah.
Because you crash it and drag it through swamps and it's fucked up afterwards. Yes. Like, I don't appreciate how you drive it. It's kind of like, think of if you had someone in your family, like an actual person that was just awful and negligent and reckless and destructive, would you let them drive your car?
No.
And I've got to say, sometimes we do. Like, I let an ex-boyfriend drive my car and he dinged it up and then tried to act like I was the one that did it, like a little bitch. But energetically, my point is, like, if that happens, like with an actual person, it's not long before you're gonna be like, yeah, I just think maybe you shouldn't be driving my car. Like, you're just not showing me awareness and responsibility. And like, that's my car. I paid for it. I love it. I have pride in my vehicle. I take care of my stuff. So it's kind of like the same thing with a human. If you wouldn't let them do that, you don't want to let that part of yourself do that, because it's just as destructive.
Yeah.
So it's that part in us that can realize, wait, in order for this to shift, I have to take my power back. I have to make some calls. The true I, that I am, that awareness, and not the emotional energies coming up. And like, every one of us has days where we might wake up and we feel amazing, or we're popping out of bed and we're just like, hell yeah, like what magic waits for me? And then there might be days that you're tired. Oh, you hit your toe on the bed as you go to the bathroom, and it's starting with a little bit of a challenge. But at any point, you can come back and just be in presence and focus on gratitude. Yeah. And that's what I feel is consciously choosing joy. But we have to understand that it's not waiting for the external world to make us happy, and then we'll be in joy, because you will be waiting. Yes. And I feel like a lot of people, and that's what will confuse some people, because a soul like mine, that I do choose that, and I'm in joy. And then there's all kinds of weird news happening and bad stuff. Like, if you want to tune into destructive noise, it is available online on the news. There's so much bullshit being put out into the world to get you to be in fear, to get you to feel less than, to get you to feel powerless, right?
Yes.
So all that external noise is available. One thing with my soul is I really have a discipline of quiet and stillness. So if it's too noisy around me, I pull into my little cave and I go into meditation, or I'll go in nature and go on a hike and be with the trees. Well, the world's all pissed off at Trump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it doesn't mean you don't care about the world or what's going on. It's just that you're consciously choosing what you need today. So you're like, whoa, I need stillness. I need to go sit with nature. I need to recharge myself with the trees. And when I do that for me, I can actually be a much more loving person for the people around me and encourage them in a direction, right?
Yeah.
But consciously choosing joy means you really got to be tuned into what you need and what, really is going to help you feel recharged. If you don't need to be around a bunch of people, and you know that there's an opportunity that you could be this weekend hanging out with a bunch of people that are maybe gossipy or heavier energy, you learn not to sabotage yourself, and you learn to say no. You learn to say, no, I'm not available for that. And you don't have to explain yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, you can just say, that's not going to work out for me. I've already got stuff going on. Even if the stuff you got going on is nothing and you're just going to be with yourself or go into nature.
That's something.
It's something. It's so important. So I think a huge part of choosing joy consciously is choosing yourself, and loving yourself is first. And then from there you can pour into others.
Yes.
And I think that's a huge thing with everyone on this planet. But I feel in particular, women, I feel women have really been trained from very young to feel like what they deserve in love. Like if I get love, it's because I'm a good girl and I do good things. And when I do good things, then maybe they'll love me.
Yes.
That is in so many of us. And boys too. Boys can have it and it can show up in its own way. But speaking as a woman, and I feel like that's something we have to be so aware of, because when I had the not great boyfriend and doing the not great things and feeling shitty, and it was a pretty bad situation, I was definitely struggling in myself to like really see what I needed, because I was so pouring into the people around me.
Yeah.
And sometimes like you got people that are very demanding, whether you have children or you have a toxic boyfriend or a toxic girlfriend or a toxic neighbor. I don't care. Whoever it is, your mother, you know, if somebody is very toxic and you just keep hanging around them, it wears you out, you know, especially I can speak for myself as an empathic human that's very sensitive to energy. Oh my God, I felt so exhausted. So I feel like part of the reason I'm saying that is you can go through things, but in order to really choose joy, you have to choose yourself. You have to choose, what do I need right now? And maybe what I need is to kick this motherfucker out, right? Or what you need is to tell those kids, no, you're getting nothing now because you're being little brats and you're not going to get your way. But I feel like we got to stand up on that stuff. A huge part of what I even see with the misaligned leaders on this planet, what they have in common is frozen toddler syndrome. Like you can sense in them, or a soul like mine can sense, that they did not get good discipline and boundaries and consequences. So they plow through life like little terrorists, little tyrants. Their Vicky, the victim, and Victor, the villain, is running the show, right? And so if you look at like, how do we understand these bigger things and how do we get the world to be better? Start with yourself. And even don't let someone like a misaligned leader that I don't want to give the name too often because I don't want to give attention to that, but to recognize like that's like a frozen little wounded toddler in an aging meat suit. And it's frozen in there. And so that's where it comes to, in people's life, anyone you're dealing with, if it's a grown man, a grown woman, if they're not going to counseling or going to a healer and doing their work, their shadow work, which we talked about last time, then they will literally stay frozen in that trauma and in that, you know, emotional state. And they will cause mayhem on planet Earth, wherever they go, because Vicky or Victor is running the show. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do you want to say anything connected to all that?
Yes, there have definitely been times where Vicky is running the show, not being a very nice person.
Yeah.
And I have definitely taken that out on people that I love and care for.
Can you find yourself projecting?
Yes. Totally.
Yes.
And so having this awareness, now I'm not saying she doesn't come out and talk.
Yes. But you don't have to let her lead.
She doesn't have to lead, and she might start talking, and then I'm trying to catch it, you know, as quickly as possible.
Yes.
And then go, okay, what's going on? And like avoiding going into the story, because once I start getting into the story, then it like takes on
a life of its
energy,
own.
and I'm like,
a whole new world,
a whole new shit world.
Fucked up shit we're gonna do. Seriously, you're just like, I can't wait to fuck my life up.
And right now, it's like And there's a lot going on, like in my life, a lot has changed. So like,
yes,
sometimes I have
which
like,
you gotta give yourself credit on all that you're really adapting.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yes.
But I might have like 1 to 2 really good days, and then Vicky might sneak in a little bit on day 3.
Yes.
And then I'm like, hey, Vicky.
Hey, girl.
So I'm going to need you to shut the fuck up for a little bit.
Yes.
Because I'm like, we don't need to go there.
Yes.
Like, but yes, it does. It definitely
takes practice. But you realize you're in charge, and she's just a voice that.
Yeah.
And really, when we look at that egoic voice, the wounded voice, it's really some part in ourselves that is trying to protect us. Mm-hmm. That, you know, maybe had bad friends in the past, or a bad work environment, or a bad relationship with a partner, and whatever, you know, bad meaning it wasn't fun. And so we might have that energy come up as a way to like protect us, like, oh, watch out. And we can, so you saying you could let her talk, but not let her lead is such an important part, because if we let her lead, then we're just at the mercy of her perspective from past, from some other lady or some other guy or some other. God damn it. So I have a water app that tells me to drink water. And guess what, guys? It's time.
Hey, drink your water.
Time to drink my damn water. And I literally muted it. And I do not understand why it still does it. But anyway, just so y'all know what that little whoosh, whoosh, whoosh was. But does that make sense? Like understanding the difference. And so we're going to pause here and we'll do a part 2 of this, because we're getting at that 20-minute mark. But I want to go into talking about that warrior energy and kind of make sense of that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pause here, guys. We're going to sign off for this session, and we will get back into it in our next podcast, a part 2 of choosing joy. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you all have an amazing day. And don't let Vicky or Victor lead the show, you know, because they're going to fuck your shit up. Have a good day, guys. Peace out. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today to our most recent podcast of Mindfulness Mastery 888, The Real, Raw, and Truthful. For those who would like to book any one-on-one sessions, you can contact me at mindfulnessmastery888.com. A gentle warning on working in higher realms of consciousness. As you are listening to our podcast, you may feel or experience tingles, dizziness, or tiredness. This is your body giving you guidance that it needs to relax. It's not a bad thing, but we do encourage you to honor your body and get yourself in a position where you can relax and receive these codes of consciousness. I thank you for taking a moment to subscribe, like, share, and follow, and come back and check out our newest content. Have a blessed and peaceful day.